Today we're walking one of the most spectacular stretches of the southwest coast path, from Polruan to Polperro. It's just over 7 miles and it's a proper Cornish roller coaster. Steep climbs, dramatic cliffs and some of the best sea views in the county. Good morning from Polruan. We've just parked in the hillside car park here and it was £6.50. Paul, was it £6.50?
Day.
Yeah, £6.50 for the day, and it's about 9:30 in the morning, and that gives us until 6 o'clock tonight. Polruan has always leaned toward the water. For centuries, boats were built right on these shores, shaped by hand and tide. So if you take the ferry from Foy to Polruan, you'd land on that landing stage there. You'd disembark onto that landing stage there and then walk up here, along here, and then up to the southwest coast path, which is what we'll do now. Now we're just imagining getting off the ferry here, and this is what's in front, the winkle picker, and then we're going to walk up some steps to the southwest coast path. And there's the Lugger Polruan takeaway hatch, which if you're hungry is a good place to stop, but we've just had our breakfast, so that's worth knowing. The Lugger Inn. These narrow paths once hid more than footsteps. Polruan smugglers knew every shortcut, every shadow, every tide. And then you go up these steps here, up onto the main southwest coast path. There we are. Look at that. We're walking back up towards the car park now, but for completeness we had to start the walk as if we'd just got off the ferry. Polruan's Wesleyan Chapel has a quieter presence today, but its history runs deep. The chapel was already active by the mid-1800s, with records showing weddings taking place here as early as 1843. Built from Killis rubble with granite dressings, the chapel later became a private house, but its structure still hints at its past. So far we've done a little circular walk from the car down to the harbour and the landing stage, as if you were getting the ferry across, and then back up round to the car. So now this is the start of the real walk towards Polperro. High above the entrance to Foy Harbour stands St Saviours Point, a quiet Cornish headland with over 1,000 years of history. The ruins you see here are all that remain of St Saviour's Chapel, first built as an early beacon for sailors navigating the coast, later enlarged in the 1400s and used as a lookout. The chapel eventually fell into ruin after the 16th century. Today it's a scheduled monument, a peaceful place where the story of Polruan's maritime past still lingers on the wind. As soon as the houses fall away, the coastline opens up. This section is wild, exposed and absolutely stunning. Every corner gives you a new view of the sea. And this is why we like the Southwest Coast Path so much. Just you come out of populated areas like today, Polruan, and you're suddenly remote and in the countryside, next to the sea, with fresh air. We came across some cows on the path, but they weren't dangerous at all. They calmly moved out of the way and we just coexisted in the same field. There's a long-standing local joke that the cows along the coast path act as unofficial guides. Farmers say that if you're ever unsure which way the path goes, follow the cows. They always know the best route. And it's true. Cows tend to gather on the flattest, safest ground, so walkers often find them exactly where the path is easiest. This is such a lovely walk. It's a really good idea to allow plenty of time so that you don't rush past and miss the views. We've seen quite a few short signs like this one on the Southwest Coast Path recently. Here is Paul standing beside one to give scale. Maybe it's to save money, or is it because the tall signs fall over easier in the wind? Maybe the seas aren't quite so calm now, but it looks very dramatic. The climb up to Pencarrow Head is steep, but the views from the top are worth every step. Well, that was quite a climb, but well worth it for the views. Pencarrow Head is a rugged Cornish headland overlooking Lantic Bay, known for its high heathland paths and dramatic slate and granite cliffs that rise to around 100 metres above the sea. The Southwest Coast Path here follows an old donkey track once used by farmers and smugglers. It's very blustery going round Pencarrow Head, but it's absolutely lovely. After the headland, the route softens a little as it heads toward Lansallos. Watchhouse Cove sits directly beneath the old 19th century Coast Guard lookout known as the Watch House, and from the Southwest Coast Path it feels like one of the most hidden and atmospheric spots on this stretch of coastline. The cliffs drop steeply to a small, secluded cove that once played a part in the area's smuggling history, and the lookout above was built to keep watch over these waters. Today the cove is quiet, wild, and largely unseen from the main path, with the dramatic setting and changing light giving it a really distinctive character. Sand Heap Point stands out as a rugged headland on the stretch of coast between Polperro and Polruan, where the cliffs push out into the sea and give you those big open views along the shoreline. A lovely little bench for our lunch break, with a super view.
Is this right for a lunch spot?
Yes, it is. View from picnic spot. Lemon and coriander hummus sandwiches with shop bought bread because we're away. Very tasty. We got a packet of these triple Belgian chocolate cookies from Waitrose. They're part of the free from range, and they really are very chocolatey and delicious. They got like a layer of chocolate on the bottom, which makes them very tasty. Very scrumptious indeed. Scrumptious. Lansallos Cove is one of the most peaceful corners of this coastline, a sheltered semicircular bay reached by a footpath that winds down through woodland and fields from the village above. The cove opens out onto sand, shingle and clear water, framed by rugged cliffs that reveal fascinating geological layers. Once used by smugglers bringing goods inland, the path now leads to a quiet National Trust managed beach where a small waterfall still trickles down the rocks, adding to the calm, secluded feel of this beautiful spot. This walk has got some steep climbs, but the views are well worth the effort. And look at this glorious sunny day now. We've had hailstones and rain as well. Chapel Cliff sits just west of Polperro on the southwest coast path, a stretch known for its steep drops, exposed headlands and long views across the Cornish coast. The route passes the site of St Peter's Chapel and the remains of old fishermen's shelters, reminders of the village's long connection to the sea. It's a short but rugged section of the path where centuries of fishing and smuggling history meet some of the most dramatic scenery in the area. As we headed towards the end of the journey for today, our legs were beginning to ache from all the sliding about on the mud. Just when we thought we'd had enough, a rainbow arched its way into the sea like a guiding light, encouraging us to speed up a bit to ensure we caught the bus back. And we're just coming into Polperro now. We've got 3/4 of an hour to walk through Polperro, get up to the Crumplehorn Inn to catch the 481 bus back to Polperro at 3 minutes to 4. This has been an amazing walk.